Hi, welcome to Barker Canine Academy. Today we're going to talk about getting ready for Halloween night. If you have any questions or anything about costumes, decorations, anything like that, please refer to my video that I put up a couple of weeks ago. But today I want to focus on getting ready for the actual trick-or-treating, the actual Halloween night. So the first thing I want to talk about is on Halloween, the first thing that comes to my mind is lots of knocking on the door, lots of doorbell ringing, and how do we get our pet to be okay with this? So there's different things that we can do. We can avoid the doorbell and knocking on the door entirely. How do we do that? So we're going to keep the door open and maybe just have our screen door there or put up a baby gate so that the dog can't get out. And that way you are already at the door. There's no reason for the doorbell to be rung and there's no knock at the door. The other thing that you can do is maybe sit outside in the yard or into the garage. That way, again, they don't even approach the door at this point. They're coming to you in the yard or in the garage, and it eliminates the doorbell and knocking. A third option that you can do is you can just get a fancy basket, make up some candy bags and put a nice little sign. Please don't ring the doorbell and upset the dogs or something along that lines. That way, again, there's no doorbell ringing. There's none of that. They can just come up, they'll see your sign, see the candy, and they'll just grab the candy and they'll go about their way. Desensitization of the door knocking is kind of a tricky thing. We want our dogs to be responsive when somebody knocks at the door. When it's not Halloween, but during Halloween we don't necessarily want to carry on with that. We'll use desensitization to help with this, but we'll also add a few cues to it. Like, we'll let them know that it's okay by saying, it's okay, it's all right. Nice, calm voice when you say that. Let them know that it's okay. How do we do the desensitization with door knocking? Is when someone knocks on the door, you're going to reward your pet with a treat. When you open the door, you're going to reward your pet with a treat. If you see someone with a scary mask on, you're going to say, it's okay, and reward with a treat. So you want to make sure you have lots of yummy treats with you on Halloween night. You can practice this a couple of days before Halloween with a family member or a friend to just get the dog used to there being knocks on the doors and getting rewards and all of that. What to do if you go to bed and trick-or-treating is still happening? You're gonna get lots of doorbell rings, lots of knocks on the door, even if the porch light is out. So what can you do? You can take your pet into the bedroom with you and turn on a fan or play some music so that they're not hearing the knocks on the door. Or you can put them in their own room, a room farthest away from the door, with the TV on or music or something like that playing so that they can get distracted by that and not so much by the knocking on the door. So shadows and sounds of trick-or-treaters are another thing. These can all be unsettling to your dog. So let's talk about desensitization with shadows. Practice having somebody walk next to the windows and the door a couple of days before Halloween. Practice that each night to let your dog know this is to be expected. Make sure you use that keyword, it's okay, or it's all right. Let them know that everything's okay. Reward them when they're being calm. When somebody walks by the window and they're nice and calm about it, we're going to reward them with a nice yummy treat and say, it's okay. Do not yell at your dog if your dog gets worked up. If they start barking at the door or at the shadows, you do not want to yell at them. And the reason why is as you yell at your dog, in their mind, you are joining in on the barking. Instead, you're going to redirect, get their attention back on something else, and then with a nice calm voice, it's okay, everything's all right. Desensitizing your dog to trick-or-treaters. So much like what we did with the scary noises, is we're going to play sounds of children laughing, and then we're going to play sounds of children screaming or saying trick or treat. And we're going to do that. We're going to play that. I would start that now, a couple of weeks before trick-or-treating, and break it up. Say in the morning, we're going to listen to kids laughing at the lowest value for 5 minutes. And then in the afternoon, we're going to play the noises of kids screaming. And then in the evening, we're going to play noises of kids saying trick or treat. We're also going to start practice wearing our costumes around our pet to get them used to us being in costume. Whether or not to crate or leash our pet during trick-or-treating is really dependent upon your pet. And the reason why I say this is because your pet could be an extra friendly pet that gets along with everybody, that doesn't get startled, in which case you don't necessarily have to crate them or leash them or any of that. So this is really where I would say know your pet. Know where their limits are. If your pet is very anxious after practicing with the doorbells and the shadows and the decorations and the costumes, if they're still nervous, then it's probably best that we just put them in a crate or in a room farthest away from the door, playing some music and gentle calming noises just for them with their Kong full of peanut butter. Let's not add stress where it doesn't need to be added. If your pet has done well with the desensitization and all of that, but has a history of maybe getting a little bit more spooked or barking or anything like that, then it might be best to go ahead and have some treats handy and put them on a leash to where you can have control of him. Plus, if he does start barking at trick-or-treaters, trick-or-treaters feel more comfortable if the pet is leashed. So let's make sure we have respect for our trick-or-treaters as well. If your dog is super friendly, doesn't get spooked easily, and seems to be very well, then you can go ahead and let them run free. That's perfectly fine, but do keep in mind the respect of your trick-or-treaters. Some people are afraid of dogs. You can also ask your dogs to stay back. When you see that somebody is fearful, you can just ask them, hey, back up, stay back, and give that a little bit of space so that your trick-or-treater feels comfortable. Taking your pet trick-or-treating. Know your pet. Much like before, whether to keep your pet leashed or in a crate or loose while trick-or-treaters are coming to your house, it's the same thing. Know your pet. When we're taking our pets out to go trick-or-treating out and about, a leash is necessary for the safety of your pet and for the safety of you and the trick-or-treaters. If your pet is doing well and unsure about how to be prepared, make sure you bring treats. Say it's okay when they get a little nervous. And being willing to go home if needed. If it seems like your pet is just going over their threshold, it's getting to be too much, or they're too exhausted, be willing to stop trick-or-treating and take your dog home. Whether you're taking your pet trick-or-treating with you, keeping them at home, or putting them in their own room, be sure that their tags and their microchip are up to date. Make sure you practice desensitization before heading out on your trick-or-treating adventure. Halloween is the highest rated holiday for animal cruelty. This is very sad. It is unfortunate that we have to bring this up, but please keep your pets safe. Always keep them on a leash. Keep their tags updated. Know where your dog is, where your pets are at all times during Halloween. We don't want any harm to come to your dog. Halloween candy. How can you talk about Halloween without talking about candy? So you get lots of yummy, yummy treats during Halloween. The thing to know is that these Halloween treats are dangerous for your dogs. Chocolate is very toxic for your pets. Do not let your dogs or cats or any pet eat chocolate. Always be aware of what your dog is doing. Know what they're trying to eat. Know where they're at. Know what they're doing. These guys can be super sneaky and super quick. So keeping an eye on your dog can prevent a disaster before it happens. We all know that leave it is one of my favorite behaviors. Why? Because it can be used for people, it can be used for animals, it can be used for candy, it can be used for anything. Practice leave it before an event, before your Halloween party, before your trick-or-treating, before Halloween. Make sure you're practicing leave it with your pet. Make sure you talk to your friends and family ahead of time about not feeding your pet human food. There is lots of human food out there that is toxic and not healthy for your pets. Maybe during your Halloween event, you'll set aside a special container full of nothing but dog treats that your family and friends can feed to your pet. In case of emergency, know where your closest emergency clinic is. Make sure it's a 24-hour clinic. That way, no matter what time of day it is, you know you can go there. If your pet ingests something that they shouldn't, like candy or chocolate, do not try to treat it yourself. Do not try to treat injuries by yourself. And we want to take them to an emergency clinic that is trained to care for these properly. So grab a pen and a paper. Get your phone ready to take a picture of this, because I'm going to put up the phone number for pet poison control. So if your pet does ingest something and you don't know what the effects are, should you be concerned, should you be rushing them off to an emergency clinic, you can contact them, and for a consulting fee, they can tell you whether or not that your pet needs to go to an emergency clinic or not. Do we have that pen, that paper, that camera ready? Okay, let's see. The phone number is 888-426-4435. That's 888-426-4435. Keep in mind that some fees may apply for the consultation. They will give you a consultation number that you can take with you should you need to go to the veterinarian to get your pet checked out. Please review this video as many times as you need to help prepare your pet for Halloween. If you have questions about costumes or decorations, please watch my previous video that I released a couple of weeks ago. If you liked this video, give it a good thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this one from Barker Canine Academy, make sure you hit that bell to subscribe. Otherwise, we will see you next time. Thank you for joining us.